I'm Harley Morenstein. Oh, that's awesome. Before every gearhead was playing with cars, they were kids playing with toy cars. And since 1968, the toy car of choice has been Hot Wheels. Millions of Hot Wheels have been sold, causing tons of schoolyard fights and also countless hours of entertainment. On this episode of Rundown, we're gonna pay tribute to these die-cast collectibles and give you the list on what we think are the 12 greatest Hot Wheels ever made. For over 40 years, Hot Wheels have been a source of entertainment for kids and adults alike who love die-cast model cars. Hot Wheels' primary competitor was Matchbox, and in 1996, Mattel, the company that owns Hot Wheels, bought Tyco, the company that owns Matchbox. Now, Hot Wheels dominates the marketplace for small-scale collectible cars. But what the f makes them so awesome? Let's find out.
It's pretty awesome. You never get tired of having cool cars.
There would be at the toy store just the vat of them, and there'd be thousands of them.
Growing up, I think Hot Wheels gave me an appreciation for what I could potentially not afford when I was older.
To put together the rundown of the greatest Hot Wheels ever made, Car and Driver went down to Utica, New York, home of Mike Zarnock, who is a Guinness World Record for his Hot Wheels collection and an inductee in the Die-Cast Hall of Fame, if you could believe that exists.
I've been doing the Hot Wheels thing since 1968, since they first came out. When I was a kid, I was 10 years old. I've held the Guinness World Record twice for the size of my collection, which is pretty cool.
The first car on our list is the Demon. Not all Hot Wheels are based on real cars, but the Demon is, and that's a 1932 Ford sedan called the Lil Coffin, which I'm sure was a major selling point. The Hot Wheel was also heavily featured in the 1970 Hot Wheels animated series.
The special thing about the Demon is that it was an actual car. It was a custom car that was in magazines, it was on TV. You could go to a car show and see the Demon. And that was one of the cars that was on the Hot Wheels cartoon. And it was driven by Dexter of Dexter's Demons.
I raced a bunch at a time. I'm crazy like that. The next car on the list is a member of the original 16 Hot Wheels ever produced. That group is known as the Sweet 16. The real-life Beatnick Bandit was designed by Ed Big Daddy Roth, a legend in his own day. This car didn't make much sense for a road car, but it makes for a really cool Hot Wheel. It had a good run from 1968 to 1971, but it disappeared from the scene until it came back in 1994. It's been around ever since.
Beatnick Bandit. That's one you definitely had to have, especially back then. You know, it's an Ed Roth piece. During the 60s, he was the most outrageous, well-known custom car builder there was out there. Beatnick Bandit is worth not up there because there were so many of them. One in the package for about 110 bucks.
The Ford Mustang is one of the most loved and best-known cars in the world, so it makes sense that its Hot Wheel version would be loved too. The Boss Hoss Chrome. Actually a rare collector's piece and hard to come across. Fortunately for us, we got Mike in our back pocket. He's the velvet rope guy of this sorry, Hot Wheels.
The Boss Hoss Chrome car came in the club package. You could send away $1 and you would get a collector club box. It would come in the mail, it had the chrome Boss Hoss Mustang in it, or the chrome Heavy Chevy Camaro, or the chrome King Cuda. You can't buy any of those three cars in the package. If you had that, people knew that you were in the Hot Wheels Collector Club.
For most kids, riding the school bus was a wild ride. Kids throwing stuff at each other, plenty of shenanigans. But imagine that bus had a pop-up top with the sickest engine imaginable under there that was capable of pulling off crazy Evel Knievel stunts. Well, that's what our next Hot Wheel is, the S School Bus. Let's check it out.
The school bus is a very, very cool piece. It's an actual school bus that they turned into a funny car. It had two supercharged injected Hemis in it. It's just a really cool piece. I mean, it's a school bus. I mean, how many kids sat on a school bus every day thinking, you know, this ride really, it is so slow. You know, could you imagine if we were in the school bus? You know, we could be to school in 2 seconds. And actually, it's a very, very rare piece. A loose one in decent shape is a couple $100. One in the package, I've seen them as high as $2,200. It's a really, really rare piece.
Next up is another member of the original Sweet 16, the Dodge Deora. based on a real custom Dodge A100 van truck and rebuilt by the Alexander brothers with the tailgate of a 1964 station wagon for its windshield and front opening door. It was already a legend by the time Mattel released it, but they went ahead and added 2 surfboards to make it even cooler. Nice touch, Mattel.
That was a car that everybody had. That was one of the Sweet 16, one of the first 16 Hot Wheels produced. The surfboards on the back of the Deora are usually the first thing that get lost. So if you have the original surfboards, that's definitely a plus. There were a lot of Deoras out there. There still are. You can pick them up pretty cheap, 15, 20 bucks.
Next up is the custom Fleetside, based on a 1967 Chevrolet C10 Fleetside pickup, and is another one of the Sweet 16. Designed by Harry Bradley, the Fleetside would go on to become the basis for the classic Sky Show set. Small airplanes would be launched from a rubber band-powered rig mounted in the Fleetside's bed. Does it get any better than that? A mobile airplane launcher? No, it doesn't.
Custom Fleetside, which is designed by Harry Bentley Bradley, who was the first Hot Wheels designer, was designed after his own personal truck. The price on those range loose, they're 70, 80 bucks. Packaged, they can go $200, $300.
The Hotbird is the next car up on the rundown. This is one of the most popular Hot Wheels ever. Nothing even fancy to it. It's simply a Pontiac Firebird T-top, but with its black finish and signature hood design, it's the car that Burt Reynolds cruised around with in one of the most popular movie series of the 70s, Smokey and the Bandit. That car was a total chick magnet at the time, but for some reason, Burt Reynolds chose to ride around in it with Sally Field and his mustache.
And everybody was into that car, everybody was into that movie. It was just a really cool car. There was nothing modified by Mattel or the movie for that car. So you could buy that car from the dealer just the way it was. And that was a big thing. You know, everybody thought, they put a cowboy hat on and had a goofy laugh, and they thought that they were, Burt Reynolds.
The fifth car on our list is the 1970 Jackrabbit Special. This car was shown a lot in the original Hot Wheels animated series. Apparently, people got upset when they realized that the show was essentially one long commercial for Hot Wheels. What was the giveaway? The fact that the show was called Hot Wheels? You idiots.
At that time, 69, 70, dune buggies were huge. It was just a cool looking car, and everybody liked it. Those go for some decent money. Packaged ones are a couple $100.
The next Hot Wheel on the rundown is the Beach Bomb. The Beach Bomb is based off a Volkswagen bus. Now, you wouldn't know it just by looking at it, but this is one of the most valuable Hot Wheels out there. The one with the surfboards on the back goes for as much as $4,000 at a collector's market. Pretty sure you could buy a human-sized Volkswagen bus for that much. Maybe 2.
The original Beach Bomb had the surfboards in the back window and was very narrow. It wouldn't go through the supercharger. The car would come around the track, go through the supercharger, and wasn't wide enough to be touched by both wheels. So the one with the surfboards in the back, they never actually made the production. There was pre-production of about 200 pieces. So they changed it and they widened it. And that's the one you see today has the surfboards in side pods, which made it a little bit wider. It's a very, very sought after piece, even loose.
The number 3 spot is filled by a pair of Hot Wheels that come together as a package, like when an egg has 2 yolks. The Snake and the Mongoose were the nicknames of these big-time drag racers Don Purdom and Tom McEwen, who drove funny cars sponsored by Mattel. These cars inspired multiple follow-up models and are still some of the most popular Hot Wheels ever released. Plus, their bodies flip open like real funny cars. Let's see the Beach Bomb do that for $4,000.
Everybody loved the Snake and Mongoose. They were the first drag racers to actually have major sponsorship. They got the idea to go to Mattel and get them to sponsor their race cars. Hot Wheels was plastered all over the sides of these cars. So when you watched them on TV, it was like your Hot Wheels were on the track. In the package, they're crazy. They're, $1,000.
We're all the way down to the number 2 spot, and I bet you can't wait to hear what it is. It's the Twin Mill, of course. This Hot Wheel was so popular it actually inspired a real-life version instead of the other way around. Why is it called the Twin Mill? Because it has two supercharged Chevy Rat motors side by side. How cool is that? How cool is that? Leave a comment in the section below how cool that is.
When you're making a toy, the sky's the limit. As long as it looks real, you're all set. It's one of the most iconic Hot Wheels out there. People really, really recognize that. You can easily find them, 15, 20 bucks.
Well, here it is, people. We are down to the #1 spot, the Mac Daddy, the best Hot Wheel ever. So what kind of Hot Wheel does it take to be considered the greatest Hot Wheel of all time? Maybe the first Hot Wheel ever? The original Hot Wheel? Ladies and gentlemen, the 1967 Custom Camaro. Hail to the king, baby.
The 67 Custom Camaro was a Harry Bradley design. It has been said that that was the very first Hot Wheel produced. Anyone who knows cars will look at it and go, that's not a 67 because there's no vent window. But being a die-cast, getting that little tiny vent pillar in there definitely would be a problem. It's a casting that a lot of people like. It's a very rare car. It's a hard piece to come by, and when you find them in the package, they're a lot of money, 3, 4, 5, 6, who knows how many hundreds of dollars.
There you have it, the 12 greatest Hot Wheels of all time.
If you got some other thoughts on your favorite Hot Wheels, leave a comment below. And if you're not already, become a subscriber. Also, take a look at the other episodes of Car and Driver Rundown. See ya.